Okay, we're here for a little Hesped, a divrei Hesped of our great Rebbi, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, Moshe Shapiro, that was nifter this week on a fast day, Asar B'Tevis, and we'd like to give a little bit of memories of what it was to have our dear great Rebbi. First of all, the word Hesped, we feel needs to be a little bit corrected. Hesped usually is a eulogy. The point of a Hesped is to give some sort of judgment on a person, berabim. In this way, on a nifter, if down here the rabbis give him a nice judgment, a nice evaluation, so the Beis Din Shel Mata gives that approach, the Beis Din Shel Mala will follow and give the person a hopefully a proper judgment in Shemayim. Obviously here it goes without saying that we cannot give any sort of hesped or judgment or evaluation on the great nifter. It's kind of like looking up to a tall skyscraper when you're right next to it. You can't see the end. How are you going to judge the building? Give a proper evaluation on a building that from where you're standing just doesn't finish. It's 100 floors and more, which you can't see the end of it when you're standing down there by the sidewalk. Our Rebbe was a great person. In our eyes, we couldn't see the limit. Malach Hashem Tzvakois, he was greater than we could ever imagine. So we can't give, of course, an objective appraisal of the person. Rather, we want to give a little bit of our vantage point as a Talmud who was lucky enough to know him and love him and feel his love over 33 years of love and a change of our lives. Literally, he changed our life. So let the base Bachrim, Avreichem, students, alumni, let them have a little bit of that and to appreciate it, and maybe they can take it further in their own lives. Okay, over 30 years ago, we're there. His daughter had a sickness. She was fighting cancer, fighting for her life. She was 15 years old. And she died. And that was such a sad story. Thousands of people came to the Levaya. The Rebbi, Moshe, was holding the mace, the aron, the mita, the bed, which has his daughter on it. And everyone was crying. Who wouldn't cry? There were thousands of girls there from the schools, from the Beis Yaakov. They were all crying. They got to the kever, and the Rebbe puts the mita inside the floor, the kever, inside the ground. He's burying his daughter. And he screams, Schlaf zis, mein Kind. You should sleep sweetly, my child. There wasn't a dry eye in the house. And he buries his daughter. A moment later, he comes down from the basic chorus, comes to the entrance. All of a sudden he's talking. And gathers around him a lot of Talmidim. And I'm thinking, gosh, the Rebbe, you just buried your daughter. What could you be saying now? I have to see. I run down to the front of the Beis HaKvaros. And what do I see? I see the man saying, there's a chasna tonight in our Sameach. Some chassan. I was supposed to be Masadar Kedusha, and I can't now. He's an aval. So, please, I beg you all, dance extra hard for the chassan, so that he shouldn't feel any sadness. Nobody should feel any sadness. Make up for the fact that I'm not going to be there. That's what the Rebbe is worried about? 30 seconds after he buries his 15-year-old daughter? That someone else should have a proper wedding? And everyone should dance extra hard? I said, that's the man. He's going to be my Rebbe for life. That was the moment that I decided, this has got to be my Rebbe. And I must tell you, throughout my life, I felt that he was there for me, devoted for me, caring for me. Such a tremendous pikeach. Because a pikeach is someone, a difference of a chacham is someone who's a wise man. And was he a wise man? He finished Shas at 22 years old, knowing it well. His father-in-law took him for a chassan because of his bikiyas in Shas. 22 years old. He knew Shas, he knew it well. And the greatest Rosh Yeshivas talked with him in learning. He was a great chacham, for sure, he knew Kol HaTorah Kula. But he was also a pikeach. He was a wise man to each and every person, knowing how to deal with them. See, here I was a young bacher. I came in, I said, Rebbi, my parents want me to go to college. And I want to go too. I want to make a lot of money. I was 19 years old. I said, Rebbi, I'd like you to paskin the shaila. Should I go to college? And he strokes his beard and he says, wow, how old are you? 19. You're so young. Wow, what should we do? Are you going to listen to me, whatever I say? I said, I hope, I'll try. And he says, thinking, you should go to college. I said, what? It was a mixed college too, with girls. I said, what? Rebbi, all the Rebbeim in the yeshiva told me, no, it's terrible, worst thing. How can you say go to college? Yes, you should go. Yeah, I see, you want to go, your parents want you to go, you should go. Just do it with a limitation, go for a year, and then come back to Eretz Yisrael. And after that, we'll see. Don't go straight for a few years. Take 1 year at a time, come back, take a break. I was amazed. And he says, and any Aveira that should come through college, maybe it's not sneas, maybe you're taking time away from Torah, you'll have a forgiveness, you'll have a kapara when you come back to Eretz Yisrael to learn after that year. Wow. I was amazed. So, first, of course, I told everyone in yeshiva, I got my heter, go to college, and so, and they were amazed. What? How could it be? And yes, I went to college. I went to college for 4 months. It was supposed to be a year. I was miserable. Because I was out of my element. I wasn't able to learn, even though I was learning in the morning and in the afternoon, and I would go at night. But I had all these exams and all these midterms and all these papers and homeworks and things. I couldn't properly concentrate on my learning even in the daytime. I called my Rebbi after 4 months and say, Rebbi, I want to come back to Eretz Yisrael. Only 4 months later instead of a year. He says, what? We made a deal. Only after the year. You can't come back till the year's over. And I started crying. Oi, Rebbi, let me come back and learn. He said, we made a deal. A deal's a deal. I said, no, I want to come back. And he says, what about your parents? So what about you wanting to go to college and making a lot of money? All this. I said, no, wait, it's okay. I'll work it out. It's stuyat. I want to come home. I want to come back and learn. Finally, after half hour on the phone, he finally let me come back and learn. I came back. He gave me a hug and kiss and told me, welcome home. You came back. That was pichus. That was so smart. To let the boy touch the fire once, he'll never need to touch it again. Had he told me no, I probably would have ended up going anyways, and who knows where I'd be today. But because he told me yes, and he worked with the boy, the boy was able to work it out, the way he was able to come back. That was such a pichos. Then everyone understood his psak. His psak was, yes, let him go, so that I'll come back. I never went back since then. Baruch Hashem. I've been in the Beis Medrash for over 30 years, and it's his chus. It's his credit. That was smart. Of course, everyone has to ask their special psak. Every Rebbe, every story, everyone has their story, and they ask their Rebbe. But you need a Rebbe. You don't go to college without a Rebbe. You ask your Rebbe. You get hadracha. You don't go into college is like a tornado. It's like an ocean. You need a buoy. You need some sort of ship to hold you. That was the Rebbe. How fortunate we were to have that. So a few years later, I get married. So I go to the Rebbe, I'm getting married in America, in Baltimore. He's in Eretz Yisrael. Rebbe, I would like you to come to the wedding. Come to the wedding from Yerushalayim to Baltimore. I said, Rebbe, what's the problem? Did you ever hear of a father who doesn't go to his son's chasana? He says, you're right. So we flew him in, and we had this chus of having him at our chasana. And of course, at the chasana, what does he do? So he goes to the mechitza, and he calls the kala over to come sit by the chassan, so that I could dance for my wife. That's a remarkable thing. In America, we know we dance for the kala. In Eretz Yisrael, they don't do that. Meaning, for someone from Eretz Yisrael to be holding and realize how important it is that he went over and told the kala to come so that I could dance. You know what it did for my kala? How happy that made her feel. Okay, so I came back, I must have been about before the chasna, 19 or 20. I was in his shir 4 years. It would take me to write over the shir 4 hours. He was an amazing shir. It was throughout Shas. Every sugya was a Shas sugya. He brought many Gemaras. I had to look them up and write it over. Every night Seder, it was a 4-hour job. Okay. But he saw I had creative talent. Maybe I could say something of my own. So he took me once in a room and said, Yankala, I want you to write a chabura for me to see once a week. Write a chabura? I never thought of that. That sounds hard. Yeah, you could do it. Write a chabura and show it to me. Okay, I tried. The whole night, that whole week, I was yoimam valayla, no sleeping, no eating, writing a chabura so that Moshe could see the chabura. Now you have to understand, he was a man full of ema, pachad. You froze in front of him. I'm going to give him a chabura. I came in there to his office with a chabura, and he has a long beard, and he has a very stern-looking face, and I give him the chabura, and I'm shaking in my boots. Who knows what he's going to say to this, mumbo jumbo. And I give it to him. He looks it over for a few minutes, takes off his glasses, says, Yankala! I said, oh no, I'm in trouble. He says, I hope I could say that I have a chelik in this chabura. What? You have a chelik in my chabura? Of course, it's all yours. He made me feel so good at that moment. He put in me such a chizuk, such a encouragement, that from then on I said, you know what, I'm going to do this all the time. He gave me the strength. He gave me the belief in myself. That's a Rebbi. And because of him, I started to write chidushim, and it started to get easier and easier. And I started to learn really how to do it. And it's all his credit. So that was Iyun. Then there's Bikiyas. You have to do both. So Bikiyas, in those days also, I wasn't so good in Bikiyas. And I was flumphering around this Masechta, that Masechta. One day he knew I was learning Pesachim, and it wasn't going so well. So we were in the shir. He says, I need a Pesachim. He calls one of the boys, go on, get a Gemara Pesachim. He says, no, come back. Yankala, he's our Pesachim. He'll tell us what the Gemara says. Yankala, tell us what the Gemara says. You know what that gave me? Kind of feeling, wow, the Rebbe believes in me. I'm going to learn now. I'm going to learn serious. And I started to learn, Masechta after Masechta. And I started to really get into it and really enjoy it. And it's his credit. Iyun, the Bikiyas, going back from college, my chasana. Throughout my life, I once had a relative that wasn't well. So he says, you know what, Yankel, let me go visit your relative. Maybe I could help. It's not even me, it's my relative. Yeah, but you're a Talmud, and a Talmud is like my son. So every part of their life is like my life. So that's also part. And that, in a nutshell, is, there's so much more, but that's just a glance at what it means to have a Rebbe that cares. A great Rebbe that cares. He taught us machshava. He taught us a lot of different things about life. And those are all very special. But most of all, he taught us about ourselves. He had that koyach to understand each and every person and show them who they really are and could be. My bracha to you all is, first, Tei Nishmasai Tzura B'Sarachayim. He should have a lichting Gan Eden, for sure, which I'm sure he will have and is having. And all the schos of many thousands of Talmidim he had. At the Levaya, everyone was tearing Kriya. You tear Kriya on a Rebbe Muvak. Everyone was tearing Kriya. All different kinds of people. They all felt like special, like he was their father, their Rebbe. But my bracha to you all is, maybe it's kedai to do that. Find yourselves a Rebbe. Never too late. Wherever you are in life, whether you're a Bachar or Avreich, or where you're working, there always needs to be a mentor. Someone you can follow, someone who knows you, who can give you an impartial view of the story, someone that can see you for what you really are. It will help your life. It will help your family. It will help your children. And Be'ez Hashem, it will help you become the real you that you could be. You should all have Hatzlacha. Thank you.